Yo, what is going on, YouTube? This is just a little trade recap for today, Monday, November 24th. And we ended up catching nice longs today on the NASDAQ, and they were continuation plays jumping into the charts here. I'm currently up 680 per account across 5 accounts, so it's about $3,400 in total. You guys can see the P&L window just above my head here. And this was the trade that I caught on stream. So let's just break this down because it wasn't like the most obvious bias for the day, I wouldn't say. But as price kind of just played out, it definitely became pretty clear and easy, I would say. But let's jump out here to the hourly. And I'll just kind of go over what my overall thought process was on the trade today and just kind of how we got there. So let's jump into replay mode here, start new, and let's just jump here to going into 10 a.m. So going into the first 30 minutes of price playing out, going into 10 o'clock, and what do we see here? So we see price has done a couple of things. First and foremost, we've actually taken out the October low. So when I started noticing that we were getting finally a retracement off of all-time highs, let me just jump out here to like the 4-hour. So seeing this retracement off of the all-time highs, we see that we've taken out the October low. This is where my first kind of short-term target was to the downside on like a macro perspective. And this is what I wanted to see us get to and then go from there, right? I'm not saying that we can't go lower than this, but I was expecting us to at least come to this October low before a retracement potentially, or a continuation rather, back to the all-time highs. We've taken out the October low on NQ. We've taken out the October low on ES. And we have not taken out the October low on YM. So we actually have an SMT divergence between these assets on a higher time frame at a very significant liquidity pool at these lows. So for that reason, this is all kind of playing into the narrative as to why you would be a little bit more bullish. However, going into today, I was still looking at this. Let's go back to 10 a.m. Still looking at it from how I would normally look at just premium and discount ranges, right? So I'm still seeing the fact that, okay, this hourly candle comes up. We take out this liquidity here to the left. However, we close very strong above these highs. So to me, this is a pretty bullish signature. However, I'm still not totally sure because we are trading into 50% of this higher time frame range, right? We're trading back into a premium. And at the same time, ES actually did not have as strong of a close. We actually closed pretty weak on the hourly, I mean, relative to NQ. But I mean, I guess still, if you're just looking at this, we still did close the hour above previous hourly highs and above this breaker block as well on ES. So to me, this is still relatively bullish, but it was enough to make me hesitate. It was enough to make me say, okay, I'm not totally convinced just yet that we are going to continue just pushing new highs. So I just waited for more information, right? So I'm looking here now at the 5-minute and going into 10 a.m., we see that price actually does expand to a new high. And we leave behind this 5-minute bullish fair value gap. And in the moment, if you guys were watching on stream this morning, in the moment, I was looking at this and I'm like, okay, well, if we do inverse this 5-minute after taking out 10 a.m. hourly high, I could see us retracing back down and maybe taking out this opening range low. You guys can see that we have an hourly gap here. So to me, in my mind, I'm like, okay, if we lose this 5-minute gap, then I would expect us to come likely towards these hourly lows. And that's kind of how I was looking at this in the moment, knowing that we're in an overall premium of the range, right? So I was willing to play that if we got it. We just did not get it, right? So this 5-minute ends up closing and respecting this 5-minute gap multiple times. And then at this point, I'm looking for something that is a little bit more concrete and obvious on the lower time frames to justify maybe trying continuation longs. And we do get that here. So we get price coming down, taking out this 1-minute low right here. So we take out this 1-minute low. We're still holding the 5-minute bullish fair value gap. And then we actually leave behind this bearish gap, which we see immediately gets inversed 2 minutes later. So we immediately inversed with strong displacement to the upside on this 1-minute bearish fair value gap. And at this point, I'm like, okay, it's pretty obvious to me at least that we will likely go back to this external high. So I'm looking at it like this, right? And I'm playing it with like a 1.3 to 1.5-ish risk reward, just depending on where the stop goes. I had the stop right here. And just looking at it like this, I can see this move playing out. And this is what I ended up playing today. But I did end up catching a little bit more of this move as well, which I'll get into just in a little bit. So we trade down, we pick up my entry right here. And then we see price does expand to this new high. So the way that I did this is once we took out this high on this 1 minute candle, ES was already taking out the external high. We had SMT. I went break even at that point. Did not get taken out break even on this little retracement. And then we see price close here. And I'm looking at this now from an element of time, right? So I'm saying to myself, okay, it is 10:34, 10:35. What's more likely to happen? Is it likely that we're just going to take this high and then full-blown reverse? Or is it more likely that we'll probably continue in grinding new highs into at least the new hour, right? Or at least into like the new hourly macro that's incoming. And just kind of to mark this out in terms of time, here is the hourly macro, 10:50, and then here is 11 o'clock. So I'm kind of using more, I end up using more of like a time stop on the runners. I did take a partial at this high here. I took 4 of 6 contracts off. So we trade up, boom, taking that out. And at this point, I got a couple runners on, and I just project this out for kind of like my final target, if you will. So looking here from this swing low to this swing high, the reason that I'm projecting this is because this is the manipulation leg that took out the liquidity that then sponsored this move. So I'm really just expecting price to expand to these projection levels. And the other reason that I'm using these is because, again, on the higher time frames, there was literally nothing to the left of us to go off of. It's literally just one ginormous imbalance on the 4 hour, the 1 hour. So I'm trying to project out where these potential retracements could happen, which would be good take profit levels, so I don't have to sit through a bunch of retracements. Does that make sense? So that's how I played this right here. And we see price continuing to expand. When we get a new 5 minute candle right here, boom, we take out this high and start flipping back into the range. I took another partial off. And then we have the new 15-minute candle right here. So you guys will see here, as we trade into a new 15-minute open, coming up here, we have price that immediately new 15-minute candle opens up right here. Boom, taking the -1 standard deviation pretty much to the tick. I get out of the position, and then we see price have one of these larger retracements going into the 11 a.m. macro. And then finally, after the new hour opens up, we see it just continue to push new highs. And as of right now, we are sitting at like -2 standard deviations of this move. But I was happy with this, right? Like I said, I did not want to sit through big retracements, and I was really just looking to get a piece today, playing continuations with relatively lighter size than what I would normally use. But yeah, all good. I felt like, again, it was a little bit not so obvious right away this morning. You had to be patient, wait for some information. Once you got that information, to me, it was pretty obvious that we were supporting bullish order flow. And playing continuations was clearly the move. So that's how we did today. Like I said, up 3,400 in total, about 680 per account. So let me know in the comment section below if you guys caught longs today or if you did something else. Either way, let me know. And yeah, hit the like button, boys and girls. It's going to be a short week this week. We have Thanksgiving on Thursday, Black Friday the day after. So it's only going to be a 3-day trading week for me, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Off to a good start. Hopefully we can keep it going. But we'll be back live streaming tomorrow morning, 9:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will see you guys there. If you want to get funded with Tradeify, code Tyler or code TT, whichever one you prefer. Otherwise, boys, appreciate you. Hit the like button, and I'll see you guys on stream tomorrow.